Hey guys, Terry with Good Dog Coaching and Pet Care, and I wanted to talk to you about the feeding routine and showing you how to feed your dog, what your dog has been taught while they've been here with us for board and train. Basically, the feeding routine is, or feeding ritual, whatever you want to call it, is how we feed our dogs, right? And we want our dogs to be calm. Food can be a very exciting, or mealtime can be a very exciting time of the day for a lot of dogs. And of course we love it that our dogs are happy, that we're giving them food, but we don't want that to turn into madness and mayhem either. So what we've taught your dog here at Good Dog Coaching and Pet Care while they've been here for board and train is that when the food comes out, they should be calm. All right, they should wait respectfully for the food. We put the food down on the floor and they don't go for it until we release them to it. In other words, until we let them know, okay, now you can have it. Okay, so when you're prepping the food or getting the food out of wherever you keep it, you can put your dog in a sit, or put your dog in a down, or put your dog in place. Those are all great things to have them do to help them to be calm. And then prior to that, we're actually going to release them. Like right now, you can see Monty's in his kennel, which is a command. It means go into the kennel and stay there until I invite you out. But then, we do release them, and then I'll show you what we do, and them just knowing that when the food comes out, they're supposed to be calm, they're supposed to sit down, wait and be respectful, and wait to be released to the food. So here's what it looks like. Monty, come. Good. Okay, so I have, and by the way, you can take their meal when they first come home from board and train. Again, this is an exercise, so you'll do this at feeding time, but for the first maybe week, again, they've learned these things here. We're going to help them transition to your home as well. But for the first week, maybe what you want to do is take each meal and divide it into 4 portions. That means that each meal you can do this in 4 repetitions, getting them to know that the rules that were here are the same now at your house. All right. So food comes out. I just released him from the kennel. I didn't tell him to sit. Right. It's just what he knows to do. When I go to put the food down, I'm not going to put it directly in front of him. You can see I got Maggie over here in the kennel. I'm going to close her door. All right, there we go. So food is out. I wait for that. As soon as I see him, SIT, I don't want to tell him. He's not under command. He knows in order to get this, he's got to kind of sit down and wait for it. All right? So I'm not going to put it right in front of him. I'm going to put it kind of out here. If his butt comes up off of that floor, I'm going to pick the food up. What I want is to be able to put the bowl all the way down, stand all the way up, and wait for him to be looking at me. In other words, asking me, hey, can I have that? Right? Respectfully. And then I'll release him to it. Okay, and break is the release command. Now listen, Monty's only been here for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And so you saw that butt come up just a tiny bit. He was thinking about it and then remembered, oh, hey, wait a minute. If I wanted to be released to that food, I've got to remain seated. So, I always like to use dogs that aren't quite fully trained so that you can see if they make a mistake, what do you do, right? If he really came out of that sit, I would have just picked that bowl right up. I wouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't have even said no. I would have just picked it up. I just like to let the body language do the talking in this instance. Okay? When he eats that up, I'll do a little more so you can see it again. Got it? Okay. So I don't care where he sits, right? Like if you have a special area for your dog's food in the beginning, don't worry about that. Just wherever your dog sits down, you're then going to stand sideways to your dog, okay? Not this way. This is too difficult for them at first. But remember, they're just learning. Sideways. This gives me lots of space, and I'm going to put it out here on the outside of the foot that's furthest away from them. I'm also going to practice moving around a little bit, because just because I moved doesn't mean I released him to the food. Break. Good boy. Okay. Good boy. Break. So, here you go. He's thinking I'm going to give him the out command, actually, which is why he was moving away. Good boy. All right. Because we've been practicing that also with his food. So I'll show you one more time. So he's over there, I'm putting the bowl down over here. Break. All right, so that's how it works. He's very respectful of the food, as you can see. Break. Anyway, that's the feeding routine or feeding ritual. And as your dog progresses, you'll be able to move all around, leave the room, challenge your dog. Come back in, they'll be looking at you the whole time. And not moving until you release them to the food. All right, again, great leadership skills. Food is a huge resource to the dog. All right, it's yours. You're just sharing it with them. All right. So again, it's big in terms of state of mind training and leadership skills for you and your dog. And your dog should be respectful of you, not jumping, not barking, not trying to get the food. You don't want to have the bowl on the floor and just be pouring food into the bowl and the dog just comes out. All right. This is what you want to do with them. And over time, they get this really quickly. If you practice, 3 or 4 times at each meal, they'll get it real quickly. So much nicer. Not having your dog being crazy at food time, jumping up at you, barking, whatever. They might not be doing that now, but they can certainly develop into that. So anyway, that's the feeding routine.